All right. How has everyone been doing? It's been a little bit. I have been working the last few months strictly on development. I have not been making videos. I have not been posting, and I'm glad I did it. I was able to focus a lot more on my projects, of which I have two main ones. So let's go over this. This is my devlog over the last few months. So what we've got here is called Steal a Bus. So Steal a Bus is a steal a game, obviously. I've just launched it, and this is the reality of Roblox development. Is the game getting thousands of players? Not yet, because we're still in data gathering mode. I'm engineering retention right now. It's a minimum viable product. The point of releasing an MVP isn't perfection. It's momentum. I would rather have 10 imperfect shipped games than one masterpiece collecting dust. But I want to use this as an example to show you why the hobbyist mindset is nonsense. And this is a real world example to show you this. Let's say I spent 5 years instead of like 3, 4, 5 months that I took to make this game. Say I spent 5 years making my dream game, and these were the results that I was getting. 8 players active. This is a test run right now. I'm only spending like 1,000, 2,000 Robux on ads a day. But say I was a hobbyist. This would crush my soul. I would be devastated, right? This is why we see people who spend years on one Roblox game and they drop it, the game flops, and they're like, oh, everybody ignores good games. The Roblox front page is filled with slop. Nobody cares about actually good devs. This is horrendous. I'm quitting Roblox development forever. Roblox doesn't care about us. And you might think, Smarty, who are you talking about? Who are these hobbyists? Can you show me an example? Absolutely. Let's pull one up right now. So I found this comment section on this Spanish YouTube video. This Spanish video was a video about some of the problems with Roblox, I guess, from their perspective, and the dark side of being a Roblox developer. But I went to the comment section, and of course I had to translate it because it's all in Spanish and I'm an English American speaker. And we found the graveyard of the hobbyist hive mind. Right here we see several comments. We're going to read some of them. We might not read the whole thing, but you're just going to see these stories of devs who poured their heart and soul into projects and failed miserably. So look 70. I've been dedicating my time, energy, and enthusiasm to creating a game inspired by slap battles for approximately 4 years. From the beginning, I did it with all my heart, motivated by the desire to build something unique, to let my imagination run wild, and to share that world with others. I always dreamed of forming a community, a group of players who would find my game a fun, different place, something special. But over time, that enthusiasm has eroded. Despite all my efforts, countless hours of work, and all the ideas I've tried to implement, I simply can't get people interested. I've tried everything: constant updates, design changes, gameplay improvements, promoting it in various ways, and still, no one plays it. Every time I release a new version, hoping that now someone will see it, that something will change, I'm met with silence. Today, after watching this video, I can't help but feel like this whole journey has been in vain. It pains me to admit it, but I'm starting to wonder if it's worth it. If after so many years, so much effort, I can't get anyone to stay for even a moment, why continue? I get nothing in return. No recognition, no support, not even a small sign that I'm on the right path. Just that bitter feeling of creating something only I can see. So this guy spent years on one game, right? Rather than releasing multiple games when he sees that his game isn't doing so well. He spent 4 years building perfection. I spent 4 months shipping iteration. I'm not going to sit here and act like Steal a Bus is the most popular game on the entire planet, right? But because it was a simple game, it's not too much of a loss to me. And I also know I can iterate on this game. I'm making improvements. I'm doing that based on empirical data from my analytics here. Right? We have the session time. Oh, well, I feel like adding this might make the game more successful. No, I'm looking at where are people leaving. And where people were leaving was the start of the game. I think it was a little bit too hard, so I made it a bit easier. Right? I made it so that the first city bus you get gives you more cash per second. I made it so that you got more cash when you started out. And I also made it so that the second bus you can buy is also a bit cheaper. But this guy, he spent all this time on this game, and clearly he was just changing things based on his feelings and what he thought would help, probably not looking at data. That's just usually how hobbyists operate. So he's not going to see a tangible improvement. But you see this, he spent 4 years, right? If you spend that much time and then your game fails, you're going to be very disappointed. You're going to want to quit, right? That's just the psychology of it. If you spend 3 months on a game, you drop it, doesn't do so well, you're like, that's not a big deal. I can just make another game, right? It didn't take me too long. That's why you make simple games first. I'm not stopping making simple games. I make simple games still. It's really make simple games for a long, long, long time until you have a team. I have a team working on another game that is another land game. Like all the games in Jimmy Games, it's no longer going to be in Jimmy Games. You'll have updates on that soon once that game releases. But that game has taken months and months, and I can't imagine doing it on my own, right? We have a team, we pay people. We have 2 programmers, we have a modeler, and we have a builder. They all work part-time to full-time hours. And it takes a lot of management skill. It takes a lot of coordination. It takes a lot of game design knowledge. And most people are just not cut out for it. So when I see people saying, oh, everybody needs to make the most complex game in the world or else they're a bad dev, right? I see people who are trying to send more devs to the hobbyist graveyard. More devs right here to this comment section. So let's read the next one. Right? Because this is where you end up if you follow the hobbyist mindset and you just make what you feel like. That doesn't mean that you never make something with passion in it. It just means you don't put that first. You don't let that drive all your decisions. You start with strategy first. You think, okay, what's going to get me ahead in the Roblox economy? Well, that's going to be making simple games because that way I can iterate more, I can release updates faster, and if the game flops, I can move on to the next one very, very fast because the game didn't take that much time to make in the first place. All right, next comment. So I'm a Roblox developer. I've been making games for 7 years and I have been playing Roblox since 2010. And I would like to send a message to all those that want to start, and that is not to do it. It is not worth killing months to make a game and nobody plays it. Even if people play it, you will only receive 200 Robux on average per month. In other words, he only makes 200 Robux on average per month. Or every 3 months, and it is not worth it. I am lucky to earn more than 47,000 Robux, and also thanks to those who collaborate, and also thanks to Blox Fruits. But honestly, this is more luck than anything else, and although people who earn a lot, like for example 1M, you will not realize it, but Roblox takes, I think he's saying they take a huge cut of that 1 million. Like Roblox would have earned 3 million Robux, and they lie to your face saying that you earned 1 million, but in truth it was 4 million. Well, they don't really lie to your face because they tell you that they take a cut, but yeah, they do take a cut, but they also give you servers that you get to use for free. They give you free promotion once you get in the algorithm, and they give you instant updates. You can update your game. It's out there in 5 seconds. So is that worth it for you? You decide. But for me, it absolutely is, because I get this platform that makes it very easy to make games on compared to anywhere else. Very easy to get players on it compared to anywhere else. And I just pay a cut of my earnings. I'll take that any day. But same thing, right? This guy, he always spends a lot of time on each project. He's been doing it for years, he said. And he didn't make that much Robux. He said he earned more than 47,000. But remember, this is over 7 years. At that point, that's basically nothing because that's like $150. So same thing, right? Another one down. It's sad to know that hobbyists... I see hobbyists everywhere. It's sad to know that Roblox doesn't care about spending your life with an effort that has almost no chance of being outstanding. The worst thing that they tell you is that it's a good game, that you will have more chances of standing out, and that will only enslave you more. Ah, yes, Roblox development is slavery. That's exactly how this guy sees it at this point, right? Because he thinks, well, Roblox owes me players for making a good game. Well, no, they don't, because what are you defining that good game by, right? Roblox defines a good game by something that reaches the benchmarks in the analytics. As you can see here, they tell me inside of my analytics what I'm supposed to reach. 8.6 minutes, average playtime, which I'm way below at the moment. So the game needs to be improved and iterated upon, as I said. That's why the concurrent users aren't going up much beyond what my ads are bringing in. Day 1 retention, 2.73. No, right? It tells me, though. It tells me what benchmarks to reach. So this guy's saying that Roblox doesn't care. They don't tell you anything except make a good game and this vague nonsense, and you'll have more chances of standing out. No, the people who are saying that are just other developers who are giving you bad advice, right? The people who don't know what they're talking about. Roblox, if you would actually listen to what they're telling you, and it's not that they're perfect, but they actually give you data, right? They give you empirical data rather than just feels and opinions. Oh, this is what I feel like would make your game better. No, it's what makes your game better based on the data. If you're basing it on that first, strategy first, you're going to get ahead. And I think we're seeing a shift right now where a lot more devs are starting to wake up to this. I'm seeing more people doing things based on their analytics, seeing more devs being a bit more business minded. I think we're seeing a shift in Roblox culture, but the hobbyist hive mind still lingers. And a lot of people still think, oh, you need to make a good game, and that means just pouring your heart and soul into it. And you see, when you're just pouring your heart and soul in your project with no strategy, you end up in the hobbyist graveyard, meaning your dreams are just dead. They're permanently never recognized by anybody except you, right? And with strategy, you could dig yourself out of that hole, but most people aren't going to do it because the strategy first mindset is threatening to their ego, because they think, oh, well, if I make a game based on strategy, if I look at my analytics, I'm a bad person because, oh no, I looked at my stats and I'm trying to make my players get more engaged and get in a dopamine loop. Well, yeah, that's kind of how it works. Every single game, even if it's Candy Crush on the App Store, or it's Skyrim, or it's GTA, is trying to get you hooked on dopamine. It's just how the brain works. It's not sinister. It's just how things work. It's how the brain works. You're trying to make people try to reach goals in your game repeatedly. That's your core loop. If you can get people to do that, if you can keep them coming back, not just for one session, staying for a long time, staying for 8 minutes like my analytics said to do, but coming back multiple times, Roblox will start to push your game if those numbers are high enough. But 99% of people, they think it's a bad thing, right, to focus on player psychology, to focus on strategy first thinking. So they're just going to get stuck in the hobbyist hive mind, worshiping passion alone, rather than focusing on strategy, which would tangibly get them ahead, right? As proven by the fact that these benchmarks exist, right? The fact that these benchmarks exist is proof of strategy first, because they're telling me right here, hey, if you optimize your strategy behind your game, you're going to get more players. They're telling me that, hey, if you raise your average playtime, and it even gives you advice like how to do that. It tells you, hey, improve your onboarding funnel, which means basically right here, we use the analytics service in our scripts, and we tell Roblox when somebody's joined our game, when they've taken certain actions, right? Like they bought armor or whatever. And we're able to track at which stage in the gameplay people are leaving, so that we can kind of optimize our retention based on this very logical, very empirical data, rather than just thinking, what do I think is boring? Or what feels boring to me? No, it's about looking at the stats. Hey, players find this part of the game boring. Okay, cool. Let's adjust that. Let's see what happens. Let's tinker. Let's run an experiment. That all proves strategy first, because when Roblox is telling you, hey, this is the metric to aim for to make your game get more players and get boosted by the algorithm more, when they're telling you that, they're also telling you, without saying it directly, there's a strategy you can use to get more players. And that strategy involves optimizing the mechanics in your game to be more engaging, optimizing those different stages in your gameplay, optimizing your onboarding, optimizing all these things to the point where players want to stay more minutes in your game, and you start to see this go up. I see these numbers the way that a trader sees a stock chart. Every dip tells me what lever to pull next. That's how you build predictable success. But these people, they're stuck in this old way of thinking that does not work. And that's why you see all of them. And there's even more than this. These are just the ones that stood out to me that I screenshotted. This entire comment section, I'll link it below. If you translate the comments to English, you can see the graveyard of the hobbyist hive mind. Everybody in there is just saying, I poured my heart and soul in the project. I didn't get what I wanted. Roblox sucks and they're enslaving all of us. That's the narrative. And the narrative is there because their expectations are getting met with reality. And it smashes those expectations because those expectations were built on a lie. I still remember 1 year ago when I decided to stop creating games and start a YouTube channel. It has definitely been the best decision I've ever made in my life. On Roblox, it took me 4 months to do a project, and when I released it, nobody played it anyways. I made around 4 games, but I left about 15 unpublished because I couldn't figure out how to finish them or do some mechanics. He's trying to make complex games before he makes simple games, right? Strategy first is everywhere, guys. If you become strategy first, you will not be able to ignore these dynamics anywhere that people are talking about development. It's just undeniable once you accept the truth. Because I couldn't figure out how to finish them and do some mechanics, and the most I could get was 1,000 Robux. On the other hand, with YouTube, it takes me 2 weeks or 1 week per video, and I make a lot of money. Right? So what is this guy celebrating? Well, he's not really celebrating YouTube itself. He's celebrating the amount of effort and time that it takes to make a video, which is true. It takes a lot less time and a lot less effort to make a YouTube video than it does to make a Roblox game. But that doesn't mean that YouTube is better. Why? I can change my approach to making Roblox games in a way where it takes less time to make them. I can make a Roblox game in 2 weeks, believe it or not. And also, as you make more games, your development time gets faster because yes, you gain funds, yes, you gain resources, yes, you start to build a team if you do it right. But not only that, on the business side of things, you also get better on the technical side of things if you're the scripter. Because what happens? I make a rebirth system and steal a bus. Now I can go reuse that in a simulator. I can go reuse my systems that I've scripted over time in new games. And now that game is that much more quick to produce. That's why you see so many devs releasing games super fast, right? They have a template. And whether that template was made by them or somebody else, right? Like ROBUX sells templates. He has a whole company now called Game Templates. You can look it up on X, where he literally sells templates for the top trends on Roblox, like My Singing Games, Steal a Games, all the new ones that are coming out. There's all kinds of trends, but they usually do fall in the brain rot category, right? That's what's hot right now and seems to be going to be like that for a long time. But that is a template, right? It speeds up development. That's how these devs are releasing games so fast. So it's not magic, right? There are ways to speed up this process. It's just most people don't want to put in the work to do that. So what kills these devs isn't the algorithm. It's their attachment. When your identity is tied to one project, failure becomes personal. When you're strategy first, failure just becomes feedback. I don't claim to be the perfect dev. I see the game board clearly, and I can tell you what moves you need to make to win on it because we have strategy first thinking. Now, if we look at this, right, this game has 17 right now, but I'm not emotionally affected by this. I'm not upset by this because 1, I didn't spend 5 years on this project. It was a simple game. And 2, I see the data and I see, hey, there are things I can improve. And I'm going to continue to see these numbers go up. And that means Roblox will push my game more. So you can be in the victim mindset of the hobbyist hive mind, or you can be in the self-responsibility, hyper agent mindset of the strategy first mentality of people who see, hey, look, there are things I can change. This is in my power. And whether this is on this game or on another game, I take these lessons. Maybe part of the gameplay wasn't as engaging as it could be. I could improve that in my next game. Whether it's on this game or a next game, I'm improving. So there's all kinds of comments like this in that video. You can go see that. But really, it's just a dichotomy, right? There's strategy first devs and there's hobbyist devs. And hobbyist devs, all they have is just this moral high ground that they like to try and stand on, this false morality of, oh yeah, I'm a good dev and I only make massive, complex passion projects. I only try to make the next jailbreak. Then you have strategy first devs who see, hey, there's all these games that are simple, that a lot of people call slop, but it just happens to be what players want because there's hundreds of thousands of players to millions of players online on them. Something is going on here. I'm going to try and make games like that, right? Doesn't mean I necessarily copy it 100%, but I'm going to model after that. I'm going to make simple games first. And we're going to use that to test and iterate in the market and use these smaller projects to build up over time to making better ones. And that's really strategy first in a nutshell. So are you going to be on this side of the hobbyist mindset, right? Or are you going to be on the side of the strategy first mindset? The strategy first mindset doesn't guarantee results, but it at least guarantees, right, that you know what's going on. I know exactly what's going on here. That means I have the ability to take action to change the situation and improve it. So I'll update you as I improve this game and as I sponsor with more Robux. But this is the game. I personally like it. It's all made solo. This was my one solo project I've been working on. I do like my buses. They want to say, oh, well, if you're a strategy first dev, you never put passion into anything. Nonsense. You know why? I spent hours making these buses, and this is art. This is art to me, right? But I don't sit here and act like, oh, the entire game is art. It's all about art. There's no science in it at all. That's just a lie. It's going to cook you. OMG, please add me. We already have fans. No, I'm just going to slap you, bro. Take that. We got this game. It works. And that's what matters, right? Does your core loop work? Cool. You've got a game. Right? You can start advertising that, get the data, start iterating, and see what happens. I love your game. Glad you enjoy. Drop a like to be a W. Steal this. Here we go. So this entire game is a working machine that gives me data for my next move, my next update. So you can go play this game, link in the description. And I don't know, am I gonna leave you hanging that long again? In the future, I'll probably keep uploading while working on games intensively at the same time. Now that I have this game out, it's gonna be a lot easier to focus on all of it. So we're scaling Steal a Bus. We're also building the next big land game. And I'm documenting everything here on YouTube. This is the new dev meta. Strategy first.